Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renee Novak at blessedbycards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today to share with you this cute little gift bag that I am going to use to give to some sweet mothers this Mother's Day. And I am actually videoing this particular Make It Monday a little bit early so that I can use these bags as gifts tomorrow, Sunday, on Mother's Day. So this Make It Monday is available on my blog at blessedbycards.com, and I'll have all the measurements and all the supplies available for that. But first, I want to give a shout out to my co-demonstrator, Julie DiMatteo at the Paper Pixie. She had the idea for this bag originally. I saw her video on how to do this, and she had a great tip on how to create these handles with bows on each side and to make them exactly even. So I'm going to share that with you today. And again, that's Julie DiMatteo at the Paper Pixie. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to pick your designer series paper, and I have chosen the piece from the Floral Charm. And you want that to be 12 by 12, and then you're going to want to cut it down to 8 1/4 by 12. But before you cut, you want to make sure that your design is going in landscape position along the 12-inch side, because that's where you're going to score to make your bag. And then so if your design is like mine going this way, this is your 12-inch side, and you want to cut off the piece on this side going this way. So it'd be 8 1/4 by 12. And then we're going to do some scoring, and I've already pre-scored them for us, so we didn't have to do that online. And that is going to be scored at 4 1/2, 5 3/4, 10 1/4, and 11 1/2. And again, I'll have all those measurements and supplies that I'm using today on my blog at blessedbycards.com. So after you score it in landscape position, you're going to rotate it into portrait position, but you're going to be mindful as to where the bottom of your bag is. So since my flowers are going this way, this is going to be the bottom of my bag. So I scored it at 1 1/4. And then what I did was I just flipped it over and I scored it at 1 inch, because this is going to be folded back this way, and that's going to be the top of my bag. So then I did a little measuring, and Julie shared this on her video on how to get the perfect handles. So from these two score lines here, you'll measure 1 1/4 and 3 1/4, and I just put a little dot. And again, on this section, 1 1/4 and 3 1/4, and you just punch those out with a hole punch. And then after you do that, then you can score on all the different lines. Now, you can score first, and then you can measure, or fold on your and burnish your score lines. I'll get my burn folder out here. I like to cut up on my score lines because it's easier for me to see before I fold them, and then I get a better cut. That's just a personal preference. Okay, so then on this side, what you want to do is you're going to fold these in, and it's going to depend on which design you want to show on your bag. Now, I want the flowers to be the primary show, so I'm going to fold this, and then I'm going to fold this little tiny piece here back. So on your scoring, when you're cutting up on the these fold lines, you want to just kind of miter your tabs a little bit and leave these straight. And then on this corner, you're going to just take a little V out of here and a little miter here. You're going to take a little miter here, and you're going to cut that whole piece off. And what that does for you, and Julie did share this in her video, that you fold this way and you fold this one this way, so that when you wrap the bag around, this can tuck in and hide. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to finish folding, and what you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that this piece is folded first, because you're going to fold your bag with that, because that is going to be the top of your bag. So you want to kind of make sure that as you're scoring, or as you're using your bone folder, that they're lined up. So that's the first one, and then I'm just going to go down here and do the same thing. I'm just making sure the tops are lined up. And then this last score fold, I'm just going to line it up here at the top so that it's even, and then do my bone folder. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to put glue on this portion here, and you're going to bring this over and you're going to do it just like that. So glue is going to go on here, and then glue is going to go on the purple side, because you're going to wrap that around. So, wrap it around like that, and so you want the glue to be on the purple side so that it can hide in here. So let's do that now. I'm gonna get my glue out, and hopefully it is still good. It's been a minute since I used this. All right, so I'm just gonna put the glue right along here, and again, you're gonna want it on that side, but I'm gonna wait a minute until after I get this situated. So I'm folding up here, and I'm making sure that the top and the bottom align. And you do have a couple seconds or so with this Tombow glue, which is really great. So then you just secure that down, and then you want to make sure that when you tuck this under, that's where the glue goes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that piece right there, that purpley piece. So it's really the opposite of where we put the glue before. And then it's just going to fold down, tuck in there, and hide perfectly for a great looking bag. So the next thing you want to do is actually do your ribbon, and it is easier. I got a little ahead of myself. It is easier if you do your ribbon before you put your sides of your bag together, but it'll be just fine today because we have not done the bottom yet. So we're just going to find those holes, and we're going to take our tag. I've already pre-done a tag, and you're going to thread your ribbon. Now my ribbon's about 20 inches long. You can certainly still keep it on the spool if you want, and then you want to bring it back through this side. So you can see it's a little easier if you haven't put your bag together and you're just working with a flat piece. I recommend doing that, definitely. But since I jumped the gun and went a little bit ahead, we're just going to work with it, because that's what we do when we're being creative, to get it through that hole. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to pull it through and kind of make it even. And again, like if I said, if you want to keep it on the spool, you can. My ribbon measures about 20 inches long. And I'm just going to take this block and wrap it around, and this was a great tip from Julie DiMatteo, and she just put that on there, and then she just tied her bow. Now you can use a reverse tweezer to be your third finger. I didn't bring mine up, but I'm just going to go with it here, and you're just going to wrap that around, and you want to just tie your bow. So I'm just going to pull it through like that, and that's going to be my bow. So then what you do is you just pull the ribbon back through, and that makes your beautiful bow on the outside, but it also creates a handle. And if you do wrap it around that block, and I think this is the H block, if you wrap it around here, then your handles are going to be exactly the same size. Let me show you my one that's finished. So these I did it the same way, and there's a bow there and a bow there, and it's exactly the same size. And so after you get both handles done, and I'm not going to do the other side just for tying purposes, but you want to put then the bottom of your box together. So find the front of your box, and then you want to glue everything so that you can put your seam to the back. So since this is the front of my box, I'm going to glue my flap to the back so that my seam is in the back. And so I'm just, again, going to get that liquid glue, and you just you don't need a lot, but you do want it to be secured. And you know, the liquid glue is nice because you have a little wiggle room to get it exactly straight. So just kind of line up the edges of the box. And if you do due diligence with your cutting and your mitering, your box will be perfectly straight. And so then that is how simple that box comes together. And then you can use these 2-inch strips that we cut, that 3 3/4 by 12, the piece that was left over after cutting the bag. These can then create beautiful cards. And I am going to do that for this box, but I will show you all the cards that I created for this box that's already done. And so I use those little strips to create just these beautiful, fun cards. Now, this is retired designer series paper. This is mint macaron and soft suede, and I just use those to create these cards. And this is our current sunflower embossing folder, and this is our current forever plaid folder, and this is a new stamp set from Scallops and Bloom, or stamp, not stamp set, but the set Scallops and Bloom. And then this one is a favorite of mine, the With You in Mind. It's a nice big thinking of you greeting. And on the inside, I put a little strip of that matching paper on this one, and a matching paper on this one. And on this one, I went along this way, and then this one along the side. And you can decorate your envelopes, but you see that they fit into this bag just ever so perfectly for the sweet little gift, for a Mother's Day gift, for a birthday. You can do them for any holiday. That's all I have for my Make It Monday tutorial today. Again, this is the Floral Charm designer series paper, and this is the retired one, but as you can see, any 12 by 12 pattern paper will work for these adorable bags. So again, thanks for watching. Please join me next week for another Make It Monday tutorial, and on Wednesday for a weekly Wednesday video. And until then, be blessed.